Okay, I'm about to get on Bullet, and this is week 2. I've had, let's see, about 5, I'm gonna say work days on her because it's not 5 rides. I've done a couple of days of groundwork only, and the other days were riding training days. So excuse my ground, it is terrible. I realize that it's been way too wet to work. It's finally dry enough now to work up, but it's still totally rideable. So I'm going to work her today and kind of show you guys where we're at. This is the first time she's ever had this bit on. I'm a big fan of switching bits on horses. I switch bits a lot. I don't typically keep them in the same bit all the time. I mean, usually, like if I find a bit that they're happy running in and it fits them like a glove and you know it's a perfect match, that'll always be their running bit unless I need to switch it up for some reason. However, when I'm riding at home or outside of the performance arena, I like to switch their bit a lot. Sometimes I'll ride in like a curbless bit, so like an O-ring or an egg butt or a D-ring. Sometimes I will ride in like a little junior cow horse. Sometimes I'll pit something with more shank and more leverage if I want to work on lift and balance. I switch it up a lot. Like I said, she's never had this bit in. It's actually a light bit. It looks like a heavier bit because of this shank and the leverage, the length of the cheek here, but it's really a lighter bit. It's a smooth mouthpiece all the way across. It actually has a really small, slight little, it's almost like a mullen mouthpiece where it has a little bit of tongue relief. It's so slight. It's like a straight line. It barely goes up and then goes across. This bit has a lot of, I'm gonna say give, like relief. So if I pick up on my reins, she has all this time from this point where the stopper is all the way up to here to think about, to react to what I'm doing. It's not like a locked gag to where I pick up and it's an instant. It gives her a lot of time to think. So it's good for these younger horses because it's not as scary. It's not like right now, but it still has that action. I really like this bit. It has a lot of balance. Some horses, like I've got a gelding, I tried to put it on earlier. He doesn't like it at all. So, it just varies. But I like my horses to leave, when they go home to their owners, to have experienced several different kinds of bits. So that way, when they get home, I have no idea what their owners or their jockeys are going to put on them. And I want them to be familiar with different kinds of bits, and I don't want it to be a scary experience for the horse, which then makes it a complicated experience for the rider, owner, jockey, whomever at that time. So anyways, this is Bullet. She's only staying 30 days. She's one of the last horses I'm going to take in this year, which is why I'm doing this. And I've been on her for about 10 minutes. I just long trotted her in the pasture a little bit just as a pre-warm up. Now I'm going to get on her in the arena. I like all my horses to stand when I get on. If they don't, they will. Good girl. First thing I do when I get on one, regardless of their age, I try to remember to do anyhow. First, I'm going to back up and get back in the picture here. So the first thing I like to do is flex. Good girl. This is their lateral flexion. I don't want her to move her feet. I just want her to respond to my hands. Good girl. Not only does that keep them soft to do that exercise a lot, but I like to do it right when I get on because it teaches them to stand here and to be patient. A lot of horses, as soon as you get on, they take off. Like right when you get on, they want to go. And this reminds them that no, we're not going yet. We're going to stand here and you're going to wait until we're ready to go. So anyhow, that's just a good little win-win. Then I like to squeeze my heels and ask for that face again, like I explained in the last video. I'm gonna pick up her belly. Good girl. You guys can tell she's a lot lighter now. She's getting better. Pick up her belly. Pick up her belly. Good girl. And I haven't done anything different. I have not bitted this horse up. I don't actually believe in bidding horses up because you're not really teaching them pressure and release. You're just teaching them like you're always putting pressure, you know, so that's not really teaching them pressure and release. I have not bitted her up. I have not, you know, put like draw reins on her. I've used a a running martingale. That's it, which I love running martingales because again, it doesn't force them down. It's like a training wheel almost. I've rode her in both a curbless bit, a junior cow horse. That's actually the only 2 bits I've ridden her in yet so far. And as I said, it's the first time I put this on her. So anyhow, here we go. All I've done too, going back to what I was saying, riding her is what I did in the last video. Just checks and balances. Every time I've rode her, flexing, moving her off my feet, side to side, moving all of her body parts. I have not done any barrel work yet. When I did groundwork, I literally did the exact same thing as that, but on the ground. So we're gonna do the same thing today. I'm gonna see if you guys can tell a difference. So I'm just gonna walk circles. Good girl. Remember, I want her to be able to walk in a perfect circle. If there was like an imaginary line. Good girl. And right there, she kind of got off the circle, so I just put my heel into her a little bit. You saw her head kind of went up. This is so much better from the first time I got on her. She was like in and out of the circle, not really sure, you know, how to stay on a circle. She was weaving in and out, and now she actually will walk and really pretty on a circle, which is really nice. She is playing with this bit a lot, just ignore it. Like I said, she's never had this bit in her mouth. She may have never had anything like this in her mouth before. A lot of times they'll do that because it's new, you know, so anyhow, she doesn't seem too bothered by it. She feels really good in it. So I just do both directions. This is so much better. Good girl. Real simple. I'm gonna back her up, get her straight, ask her to back. Wow, y'all, that is so much better. Look, I like barely moved my hands. All I did was squeeze my heels and ask for a little bit of pressure with my ring finger and my pinky. Barely had to move my hands. The first couple rides I had on her, her backing was pretty awful. She was real sticky in her feet. She didn't want to move her feet. She was real hard in the face. I had to really like ask her. And now it's so nice because I want these horses to be as soft as possible. So eventually I want to literally just have to squeeze my heels and her back up. So again, first thing I'm gonna do is get her straight. Good girl. Now I'm gonna squeeze my heels, ask for that face, a little bit of pressure on the reins. Good girl. Can y'all see that? So much better. All right. Good girl, darling. So now I'm just gonna trot my circles. Again, I'm just gonna do a sitting trot to start. I really want her to hold her shape and stay in control. She's fought me right there, that's okay. I'm gonna keep going. Not gonna make it a big deal. Easy. The reason she's fighting me, and you guys, I'm sorry, I don't have anybody here to video me today, so this is kind of the best I can do. The reason she's fighting me right now is because she wants to go faster. That makes sense. She doesn't want to do this sitting trot, this collected trot, where she has to hold her shape. And I'm not just talking about keeping her head down. I'm talking about just being flexed and being soft in her body. this is something her owner mentioned to me when she came to me. She said, you know, Bullet is bred really hot. She has a lot of running blood, sorry. And she wants to go. So she's not necessarily, I wouldn't say she's really a high energy horse, but I think it's more so she just hasn't been taught and asked to be low key, if that makes sense. So, because most of the time she's pretty chill about everything. And she comes down, you know, eventually. So I'm just gonna keep doing this. You can probably tell she's already better. She started out pretty hot, or not hot, but forward, right here. When I ask her to switch directions is when she gets the most upset. It's almost like the pressure I'm applying is a lot for her when it shouldn't be. And it won't be eventually. And when I say pressure, I'm not talking about my hands and my feet. I'm talking about just the complication of asking her to switch directions. Easy. So she does really good, and then she kind of loses her shape a little bit and goes out of the circle. Easy. Good girl. So I try to just keep my hands really light. Easy. I don't let her get too fast. Good girl. That transition was a lot better. Easy. She's still playing with this bit a lot. I'm just ignoring it. Good girl. She's starting to come down a little bit and get a lot softer, which is nice. Good girl. And the transition here, it's much better there. She didn't get upset. She didn't hit the panic button. Good girl. Easy. And I don't know if you guys can tell, she's really started to bring her head down more, which is really nice, without me even really asking her to. Good girl, which I really, really like. And she's not pulling on the bit either. She's just dropping that head down, staying real light in the face. That transition was also really nice. Good girl. So, hopefully you can tell the difference from when I first started this to now, even just today. Now I'm gonna stop. Whoa, whoa, good girl. I'm gonna back her again, squeeze my heels. Ask her. Good girl. Good girl. I wouldn't usually stay in like a small area like this. I would use the entire arena to do that exercise. I would go all over and move her body all over. There's no right or wrong way. There's no pattern. It's just a matter of checks and balances. You're literally asking her to go through all the checks and balances from, you know, when she learned how to sidestep, to counter arc, to just flexing, going in a circle, moving forward and flexing, moving off your legs, moving off your hands, breaking at the pole, you know, all those little things you teach them during their foundation training. I just stayed in this little area because obviously you wouldn't be able to see me if I went all over. I feel like she's done so much better just from the first time I got her to now, especially. I can't wait for you guys to see her in 2 more weeks because I feel like she's going to improve a lot. She's a really smart mare. I really like her and I'm anxious to get her on the barrels, but I'm not going to do that until she does this with confidence. So now we're gonna lope. Same thing, I'm not just gonna lope circles. I'm gonna start with circles, but then I'm gonna move her off my legs. I'm gonna go small, big, push her out, you know, all that. Eventually, I wanna be able to counter arc her and move her all over at a lope. Right now, I don't think she's really quite ready for that. So it's just a matter of baby steps. So here we go. Good girl. So again, I didn't start loping her until I felt like she was controlled and soft. I hope you guys can see this. She is fighting this bit a little bit. I probably won't put this back on her because I think it is a little bit too much for her. And I don't want to scare her. So I'm just being really light with my hand. At this point, it's already on her. And I know that I can ride appropriately so she can get through it and have that much more experience and confidence when I'm done. Good girl. So again, she started a little rusty. And she's starting to come down. So I'm just doing circles right now. I don't want her to lose that shape. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'm going to push her out a little bit. Good girl. Girl. Now I'm going to bring her back in. Good girl. I talk to him a lot. I think it's really important. Good girl. Now I'm going to push her back out, and then I'm going to turn her and stop. Good girl. I'm gonna make sure she's straight. Whoa. Good girl. Again, I'm gonna squeeze my heels and ask her to back. Whoa. Back. Back. Look how soft that is. That is so awesome. Good girl. If you guys noticed, she was not amazing at the beginning. She was not soft at the beginning or fluent or any of that. She was kind of awkward. She was reactive. She was fighting the bit. She was stopping and going and, you know, kind of not real sure. I ignored it. Okay, I didn't say, oh, you know, you stupid horse, you're not working today, or oh, I can't stand when you do that, or I didn't pull on her face, I didn't stop her, I didn't yank on her and back her up, I didn't do anything. All I did was keep moving forward. I kept her moving forward, and I literally just kept going with her and riding her through it. And I didn't change anything I was doing. I stayed the same. I kept asking her to do what I wanted her to do until she came around and she did it, and she was comfortable and she was confident and she was relaxed. So I think that's really important. If you just ride them through it and just keep asking them to do it right, they will come around and do it right. I think, you know, there is a time when a horse needs to be corrected. However, that's not the time. So anyhow, I'm happy with that. It's really hot, which sucks. I started early this morning and have a lot of horses to ride. So it's getting into the afternoon now, but I'm gonna go to the right now. Good girl. I wanna start at a walk at this stage. I wanna keep everything really calm and chill. I'm not about doing rollbacks and asking her to, you know, speed up coming out of a stop and all that. Not at this stage. That would blow her mind right now. So everything needs to be simple and black and white. So I'm just gonna start at a walk, and then I'm gonna go to a trot, and I will begin to lope her when I feel like she's comfortable and she's shaped and she's soft in her trot. I'll start her at her lope. Okay, so I'm gonna trot. Good girl. Good girl. She feels really good starting off. Good girl. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask her to get into her lope. Easy. Good girl. Again, she starts off charging. I'm just gonna stay calm and relax. Easy. So she kind of starts off the same way she did going left. She's kind of all over the place. She's bouncing around, throwing her head up, not real sure. Right there, she stopped on her own. I just asked her to go again, and I picked up her lope. Easy. Just gonna talk to her. Good girl. Easy, good girl. Good girl. Easy. She's starting to come down a little bit. Good girl. Bringing that head down, calming down. Good girl. I'm gonna bring her in a little bit tighter. Easy, easy. Good girl. Now I'm gonna push her out. Easy. She lost her lead right there. I'm just gonna ask her to pick it up again. Good girl. You guys, I love how she's bringing her head like way down, and I'm not even asking her to. I'm just sitting here, keeping my hands soft. Easy. 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 She kind of gets upset. Good girl. Now and then, I just gotta talk her through it. Good girl. So this is my smaller circle. Now I'm gonna push her out, and then I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna stop her. Good girl. Oh. Good girl. Oh. Now Now I'm going to squeeze my heels. Easy. Squeeze. Now straight it back. 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 Good girl. See, even right there, like that wasn't as wonderful as it was a minute ago. Same thing, don't get upset. Just ask again. I think this bit definitely, I'm gonna back off and go back to a junior cow horse. Like I said, I like to switch bits on them. I like to, you know, test them out, see where they're at, see how they respond. It teaches me a lot about the horse as well. As long as you're smart with your hands, you always want to stay light with your hands. I had to be extra light with this bit on her because I could tell that she was really responsive to it. But she's completely comfortable, she's fine, she got through it. So, you know, in the future, I've seen horses rear up, you know, from bits being too harsh, just from their reaction, you know, being scared. I've seen them go straight in the air. I just, you know, it can be bad. So again, I want them to experience a little bit of everything so they're kind of prepared. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to do barrels on her yet. I'll probably start soon, just slowly, because she's starting to do a lot better. Today it's really hot. I'm going to finish her with some walking, where I'll just do the same thing. I'll flex. Ask her to stay on a circle. Move her body around. Good girl. A little side step there. So this may all seem like really simple, the fact that I'm just gonna quit her, well, but it is simple. I mean, that's the whole key, is keeping it simple and fun for the horse and black and white. If I was to stay on her and, like, you know, go into something else entirely today, we would not end on a good note. Let's just say that. I want her to end this on a good note. I want her to be done and feel like, wow, like that wasn't so bad, you know, and to almost have that confident, proud feeling. Horses can totally pick up on your vibes. That's why I think it's important to talk to them. I know she can't understand that I'm saying good girl. I could say peanut butter, you know, but it's the tone of my voice when I say good girl. She can hear that, and she can hear that calmness in my voice and that, you know, low energy. She knows she did something right, and I want her to end on this happy note where she did do good. This was good today. Tomorrow will be better. The next day will be better. When I feel like, when she can come out here and start good and finish good, that's when I'll move her on to the next thing. So anyways, ta-da.